Legend has it that in the final hours of his life, the famed explorer Marco Polo admitted, "I did not write even half of what I saw, for I knew I would not be believed." Until you've been there and seen it with your own eyes, you simply cannot understand what it feels like to do a thing like this. Hull number 2 in the appropriately named Marco Polo series, ocean-goer Avalon, is named after a mythological island hidden far off in the Western Oceans. More of an idea than a destination, few ever see it with their own eyes because there are some places that simply cannot be reached, but by sea.
My name is Zane Gray. I'm the captain of Motor Yacht Avalon. Currently we're just finishing up our Alaskan season up here in Juneau. Motor Yacht Avalon, she's built by a Chinese company called Choi Lee. They're renowned for building commercial vessels. She's 46 meters long, 150 feet, and 485 gross tons. So we have 5 staterooms on board, one being the master cabin, which is on the bridge deck level, as well as 4 additional staterooms down through the Salon. Avalon was designed by a naval architect called Ron Holland, and he designed this vessel with a few key intentions, and those were range and efficiency. We can travel across oceans. For a vessel of this size, it's very rare. It's due to the unique fact that we have one main engine on board with a variable pitch propeller. Most vessels of this size may not be capable of going across oceans due to spending, say, 500 litres or more an hour with fuel, whereas on here we're looking at numbers more around the 150 mark. So it's quite a difference. The foredeck on here is rather unique due to the sort of explorer style of this vessel is. We're capable of carrying 2 large tenders on the actual decks themselves, and then if we open those bays up, they could accommodate for additional tenders, bicycles, whatever it is, and wherever we're going, we adapt.
This is Avalon's sun deck. When you look at her profile, this elongated level adds the extra boldness needed to complement the ship's bow. As important, aesthetically, is the oversized radar mast, which is placed to center her stance. The sun shines all day on both ends up here, with the aft end designed for whale watching rather than tender storage. They did just enough here beneath the shade of the hardtop by combining a semi-formal, molded-in seating area with long benches opposing 2 convertible tables. Tied into this guest space is a full service bar with refrigeration and high-gloss bar top. This section is part of a crucial refit she underwent in 2023. Leaving the sun deck, heading down a level, is a private owner's deck with a scenic atmosphere. Uncluttered and understated, you can really appreciate the wrapping stainless and the shade provided by the molded overhead. From this deck, you have access forward on the port side to the wheelhouse, or you can enter the next phase of the master suite. This brings you into the owner's private lounge, with a kind of style that speaks for itself. Quarter-rounded windows, floating walnut floors, dark Makassar ebony millwork, and an off-white ceiling are the elements of contrast on this deck and the one below. Next, we arrive in the living area of the owner's stateroom, which can be closed off from the private lounge with pocket doors. Beside the portside window is a dressing station, and integrated storage is inboard. Forward of the accommodation is a stone-finished ensuite. Notable in here is an oversized tub and floor-to-ceiling shower stall. The next stop on board is the wheelhouse, access through the starboard companionway, and just beyond the winding central staircase. When you're running this yacht, you do so with a symphony of 5 individual screens that all interface together, assuring you have eyes on every crucial aspect of life on board. In addition to controls for her efficient Caterpillar 3512B engine and stern thruster, the helm is home to the jet drive bow thruster control. This jet rotates 360 degrees, providing impressive results in tricky docking situations. One of the design features that makes this yacht easy for crew to navigate is the Portuguese bridge that runs around the front side of the wheelhouse. This teak-finished walkway then leads forward and down to the ground tackle. Foredeck operations center around a perfectly placed nautical structures knuckle crane. Everything from the main tender to the rescue rib and the plethora of water toys are safely stowed and deployed by a davit that's capable of hoisting over 5,500 pounds off either side of the boat. Now let's jump to the swim platform, where we see that same teak decking that covers the rest of the exterior. This is the primary point of access to the yacht in many circumstances, so it helps that the stern-on angle of the boat is one of her best. Forward and down a few steps is a huge storage area that doubles as the engineer's workstation. Anything not stored on the foredeck is in here, thanks to the flexible nature of an area like this. Our next stop from here is immediately forward, the engine room. In here is everything you need to navigate the globe, including shore power converters, a fuel polisher, and 3 completely overhauled 90 kilowatt Northern Lights generators, providing power to the house in tandem with the PTO system. Centerline is Avalon's Caterpillar 3512B diesel engine with just over 1,900 horsepower, providing a cruise speed of 10 knots and a maximum of 12. Next up, we have the main deck aft. Most prominent here is the molded-in U-shaped dinette with a pair of actuated tabletops. The crew can easily service this area on all sides, and there's a motorized shade that extends overhead to cover the dinette. This is the perfect environment for 10 guests to grab breakfast and take in the moment. There are stairs to port that lead up to the owner's level, as well as side decks to both port and starboard. To the starboard side is the guest companionway that leads forward to the main deck foyer and foredeck, while to port is the crew companionway and engine room access. Wrapping up on the aft deck, we're next going to take a look inside at the Salon. Stepping inside, we again see the perfect balance established on the owner's deck. Immediately upon entering, there's a practical dinette with leather bench seating to starboard, and just opposite, a capable wet bar charged with servicing both here and the aft deck. A formal seating area is just forward and offset to the port side, complete with a built-in settee, 2 armchairs, coffee table and TV. The forward end of the Salon is home to the formal dining space. This convertible glass table is surrounded by storage for dinnerware on all sides. Forward and to port the crew has easy access into the galley, which we'll revisit. For now, let's head down the Salon staircase, which brings you to the guest accommodation foyer. Our first stop is to starboard, and is what the crew considers the flex cabin. Fully utilized, this serves as a guest cabin for up to 3, or the main bed can be folded away into the wall, allowing it to be used for massages or workouts. Aft in here is a private ensuite. Immediately forward of this is the twin stateroom. Complete with a desk, TV, and hanging storage inboard, you can walk easily around the beds on both sides. The ensuite is finished with a polished stone countertop and large glass shower stall. The final 2 guest accommodations are located on the port side of the boat. The one found aft is the VIP. This has a king berth flanked by nightstands and benefits from windows just above the waterline. An added bonus in here is a built-in settee. Stateroom number 5 is forward of this and provides the same large footprint as we've grown accustomed to seeing in the guest areas. Now back up on the main deck, we continue past the Salon into the main deck foyer. This is home to the central staircase connecting all levels of the yacht. There's a day head, which is accessed on the starboard side, and just forward is the private captain's cabin. At the end of the main deck foyer is the entrance into the theatre room, which is everyone's favorite interior gathering space on board. This serves as a combination of library and cinema depending on the hours of the day. The theme of large windows continues in here, as well as a plush settee, designated desk and big screen TV. Back in the main deck foyer, we have another access point into the galley. This galley was designed to handle a full charter schedule, wherein every bed is full and 20+ mouths need to be fed. The ovens and cooktop are grouped together with loads of countertop space for prep and enough room for the chef and rest of the crew to stay out of each other's way. Our final stop on board are the crew quarters, where 8 crew members are split up between 4 cabins, which are all connected by a common area. There is hardly a better backdrop to show what Avalon has to offer. A proven long-distance explorer, she is the perfect blend of creature comforts, inspired spaces, and remarkable engineering. For a full list of the upgrades and complete overview of the vessel, you can reach out to Jarrett Hiebert with Merle and Associates.